As the 2024 NBA draft approaches, it's gaining more negative press and criticism than excitement in some corners. Some NBA analysts and experts claim that this is the weakest draft class in over a decade. Word going around is that this year's class has no surefire top 5 talent available. And while that might be true, we know there are always valuable players and hidden gems in every draft class. Sometimes you just might have to dig a little deeper to find them. And we think we found a player with some very intriguing upside that'll likely be available in the middle of the first round. We're talking about Indiana Hoosiers 7-foot big man Kel'el Ware. Ware's an interesting prospect because he possesses physical gifts that NBA teams covet. For starters, he's 7 feet tall with a 7'7" wingspan. But beyond that, he's a freakish athlete that can jump through the roof of a building and is also extremely coordinated for a man his size. Some people might not realize that Ware was a 5-star recruit and a projected lottery pick coming out of high school. However, his freshman season at Oregon left a lot to be desired. For the most part, Ware disappointed at Oregon. He looked unengaged on the court and extremely passive. He came off the bench and blocked a lot of shots, but didn't provide much else for the Ducks. Therefore, his draft stock plummeted throughout the season, and his body language was that of a young man who was lacking a lot of confidence. While most of his 5-star recruit peers became lottery picks after the season, Ware took a different route. Instead of declaring for the draft, Ware transferred to the University of Indiana to get coached by Mike Woodson and develop his skills and body for another year in college. It was definitely the right decision, because this season Ware quietly improved throughout and became an incredibly impactful player for the Hoosiers. In fact, Ware finished second in his conference to only Zach Edey in both field goal percentage and rebounding. By the end of the season, Ware practically averaged 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 blocks in about 32 minutes of play. Those are outstanding numbers. On top of that, Ware shot 42.5% from beyond the arc. Sure, he only took 43s all season long, but he surely showed the ability to spread the floor offensively. And his body language reflected that of a player who gained confidence throughout the season. He was a willing passer and battled relentlessly for rebounds on practically every possession, especially on the defensive end of the floor. Ware has put in a considerable amount of work in the gym as well. While he's never going to be a physically imposing center at the NBA level, he was thin as a rail when he entered Oregon, weighing only 210 pounds. But since then, he's bulked up his frame and now weighs a respectable 242 pounds as he enters the draft. Then at the Combine, Ware popped eyelids by posting a perfect score of 100 on his physical testing. While the testing was impressive, it was somewhat expected of Ware, who's always been lauded for his unworldly athletic ability since his high school days. Still, Ware has definite holes in his game. There's no doubt that he's light on his feet and incredibly mobile for his size, but his footwork leaves an awful lot to be desired. He loved to use his vertical leaping abilities to get up for rebounds and block shots, but he also looked lost at times on both ends of the floor. His footwork looked messy when guarding in space and backpedaling in drop coverage, and sometimes he tried to lure offenders into driving so he could contest them at the rim, but instead just got tipsy-doodled. Those types of mishaps and deficits will get him abused by top-tier talent at the NBA level. He's a little passive, and as mentioned, though he has great athletic traits, isn't particularly strong for a center. He's more of a skilled big who teams will be hoping can stretch the floor. No doubt Kel'el Ware remains a project, but in a draft class that lacks talent, teams shouldn't overlook what he could bring to the table with the right development. Ware no longer comes with the lure of being a 19-year-old freshman, but he just recently turned 20 years old, so he is very young. Had he put up a season like he did with the Hoosiers as a freshman, Ware would likely be getting a lot more hype. Instead, he's likely to go in the mid-first round, potentially later, to a team that wants to take a chance on possibly the most athletically gifted big man available. Due to his coordination, he offers upside as a better perimeter defender with more switch ability than the other centers available that are coming out of college. With work on his footwork, there's plenty of reason to believe he could turn into a shooting threat in the NBA with time, too. With the right coaching and work, he could become a matchup problem at the next level. Ware's most definitely going to be a lob threat who can block shots and grab rebounds in the NBA. What remains to be determined is what level and what else he'll bring. He might be young and passive right now, but in a few years, if he fills out and refines his skills, he could offer teams a versatile big And those are types of players that continue to become higher in demand. Look at the Wolves, for example. They deploy a front court that consists of Towns, Gobert, and Naz Reid. Beyond that, they have length wings like Jaden McDaniels that can disrupt as well. The Mavericks, who made it to the conference finals as well, improved their team by adding size and high flyers to their roster in Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, and P.J. Washington. Derek Jones is also a major contributor to their team as a vertical threat who can shoot threes. There's no doubt that size is once again the trend in the NBA. The days of the Warriors and Rockets sending out small ball lineups that dominate the league is over. Now, big, long athletes with multifaceted skills reign supreme. And even though he's raw, there aren't many players available that fit that mold better than Kel'el Ware. He probably won't ever become a star, but he could become a dangerous role player. If you're looking for a comparison, we see a lot of John Collins in him. A guy who started almost every game for the Jazz this season and despite his deficits offers a lot to his team on both ends of the floor. But we want to know what you guys think. Is Kel'el Ware going to be a value pick in the middle of the first round? Or will his lack of footwork, strength, and assertiveness prove to be his downfall? Let us know what you think in the comments section. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more sports news and insights. Thanks for watching, boys and girls, and see you next time.